Yep. Welcome back to the crypt. The writer's routine. The ever-elusive beast, the mystery, the legend, and honestly, until recently, I wasn't entirely sure it was real either. Usually when writers talk about writing routines, at least what I've seen on blogs and in videos, it tends to be this very Instagram aesthetic kind of thing. Like lighting a scented candle and having little fairy lights around and coffee, which I'm personally not fond of, but I mean, okay. And every time I've tried to have some kind of set routine where I have certain things out or have, my writing desk a certain way, which by the way, I don't have a writing desk, I just have a singular table. Whenever I've tried to have some kind of routine and schedule, it's always failed spectacularly. Usually I will do things one time and then I can never repeat the process. But recently, over the last year or so, if you've been following my channel, you've seen that I've kind of changed how I think of planning and getting through things in my day. Instead of me fighting my brain and trying to make it do something that is abnormal for it to do, I've been trying to figure out what makes my brain work and just going with that. And I hadn't thought to try to do this with a writing routine until recently. But when I started doing the Witchy Writing Wednesdays with Haley Writes, I realized I might need to change up how I do things. So instead of thinking of the ideal writing situation, I actually completely pulled it back and thought about, okay, what do I actually need? The requirements in order for me to write. So the very first thing I thought about was getting up early and this is something that I kind of do right now anyway, because it is summer, the light comes in, and it usually wakes me up. Usually. We're entering rainy season, and that means that sometimes the light is not there, and those mornings are a little harder for me to wake up. I respond very well to natural lighting. Then I have to eat, then I have to get dressed, and then to make sure my tools are in place, like my journal and stuff. So those are the bare necessities. Those are things I have to have in place in order to be successful during a writing sprint. So what do I need to make sure I can get all those things done? Well, the first one, getting up early, I need alarms. So I already have a lot of alarms preset, and I'm used to waking up to alarms around that time anyway. However, what I think I'll do to make sure that my mindset is in the right place is I've actually changed one or two of my alarms to be, instead of a normal alarm sound, they actually pull up Spotify and pull up ambiance music and other such things in order to get me in the right mindset of getting up and getting things actually done instead of just turning off a blaring alarm. Two is food I need to eat. I really don't like to cook in the morning. I absolutely hate cooking in the morning. And if I know I need to cook, I straight up won't eat. Like, end of the day, it's too many tasks, it's too many things in my head. I can't do it. So I have to have made things ahead of time. I have to have prepped beforehand. The first of being I need to plan, so I went ahead and made a list of proteins and a list of vegetables and fruits, and then I can just combine any of those to create a meal. And those are already pre-written on my fridge, so I just have to choose one protein, choose one or two of the other list, and then boom, we're golden. And as much that I can pre-make, I pre-make. So a lot of my proteins are pre-made. A lot of the fruit is pre-cut, that kind of thing. So I have prep days where I do that. 3, get dressed so I can prep clothes, what I'm going to be wearing the night prior. So I will set out the clothing I'm going to wear and get all of that ready, as well as if I do want to wear any of my charm jewelry or something, I will pick that out beforehand. And 4, having timestamps of when I need to boot everything, because I actually have to cycle all of my machines. So my portable Wi-Fi needs to be cycled and my laptop needs to be rebooted right before I go stream. And the reason for that is I found that for some reason, if the systems have been running a while, they just will be logged down with something. I don't know if it's the RAM memory being low. I don't know what it is. I'm not techie that way. All I know is if I reboot them and they're freshly booted, they're more likely to be smoothly run. So that's something I need to do. Now, you might think to yourself, wait a minute, all of these are really, really, really simple things that you should be doing anyway. True, you're right. I should be doing these things anyway. If I wasn't mentally ill, I probably could do all of these things by default and not have to think about them, not have to make a routine around them. If getting up in the morning and eating is a normal thing for you, awesome, good for you. And I'm not meaning that in like a harmful way. I'm serious. Like, good for you. You don't need to think about it. But for people like me who are mentally ill, and if something's too overwhelming, they just won't do it at all, meaning that they went almost an entire year not eating a lot of meals, I have to think about these things. If it's not very accessible to me, if it's not put in such a way that it's easy for me to do, I won't do it at all. So all of these are things that I already kind of do, but usually I do badly, or I do out of order, or I just I don't do it in an organized manner. But this list is condensed down to an organized progression of activity. I've already gone through one Writerly Wednesday, and it worked really, really well. I was actually finished and ready to go a full like 20 minutes early, which was super nice, so I had plenty of time to eat. So I'm really happy with the process so far. Now granted, this is the very beginning of the process and it takes about a month for processes to solidify, but this was a marked difference from other times I've tried to do routines. Whenever I've tried to do routines in the past, it always felt like I was trying to do something that was very foreign to me almost. It was something really strange to me, like the idea of like lighting a scented candle early in the morning is just not part of my set routine. So I was trying to do and be something that I'm not, first off, which is already a red flag. I'm really hopeful that this can become a better schedule and I can get better and better at it as things go on. I'm trying to make this not just a writing routine for, Wednesdays for you guys, Thursday mornings for me. I want this to be a routine that I use throughout my life, but it's something that is going to be kind of slow going at first. Simply because while, again, I do these things already, I don't do them together. When I had like the extra time last Thursday morning, I used that extra time to make myself a hot cup of tea, which I don't always do, but I always appreciate when I do take the time to do that. And because I wasn't stressed, because I was ready for the day and everything was in place already, I had the capacity to make that tea without feeling stressed about it. If you don't need these kinds of things, that's totally fine and understandable. You might need a more elaborate routine in order to feel like you're ready for the day and that you prepared adequately. But for me, I'm trying to get basics down. Those are the things that I struggle with the most. So yeah, those are just my thoughts on routines and setting them up. I will keep you guys posted on like how well this goes later on, because this is just the beginning of the month. Depending on how much I have to say, I might do a dedicated video, or it might just be like slapped in the end at a monthly wrap up. We'll see. I hope you guys are doing well, and yeah, I hope to see you guys on some Writing Wednesdays. Bye. Yeah, anyone who comes into chat, definitely let us know what your goal is. Yeah, let us know what your goals are for the stream.